When God is about to elevate you, everything around you starts to shift in ways you might not understand at first. This message is not a coincidence if it found you today. God led you here because you are standing on the edge of a divine promotion, a supernatural elevation that your spirit has been waiting for. Many people pray for blessings, but only a few recognize the signs before they come. When heaven prepares to lift you, the atmosphere around your life begins to change, sometimes with confusion, sometimes with silence, and sometimes with separation. So before you think God has forgotten you, stop and listen. He's actually positioning you for something far greater than you imagined. Today, we will uncover the 5 powerful signs that reveal God is getting ready to elevate you to your next season. And before we begin, make sure you subscribe to this channel and stay connected, because every message here carries a divine word meant to strengthen your faith, open your eyes, and help you walk in the purpose God designed for you. You don't want to miss what's coming next. So, if this message finds you today, open your heart, calm your mind, and prepare to receive the revelation that could change your life forever, because when God is about to elevate you, there are always signs, and today you're about to see them clearly for the first time. When God begins preparing to elevate you, the first thing He does is separate you from people, places, and situations that no longer align with where He is taking you. It might not make sense at first, because the people who once brought you comfort may suddenly drift away, and the spaces that once felt familiar may start to feel heavy or unsettling. You might wonder why the phone calls stop, why invitations become fewer, or why certain relationships begin to fade without any clear reason. But what you must understand is that divine elevation requires divine isolation. God cannot take you higher while you remain surrounded by voices that limit your vision or connections that feed your weakness. He is removing what cannot survive at the altitude He is about to take you to. The pruning process is never pleasant, but it is necessary. When a gardener wants a tree to bear more fruit, he cuts away branches that drain its energy. Likewise, God cuts away attachments that hinder your growth, even if they once seemed necessary for your life. You may feel abandoned, but you are actually being positioned. This season of separation is a sacred transition. God knows what's coming next, and He cannot allow distractions to enter the place meant for your destiny. The friendships that end, the environments that lose peace, the opportunities that close, these are not signs of rejection, but protection. God is protecting your future from being contaminated by influences that would destroy it before it begins. He knows that everyone cannot handle your next level. Some people only celebrated you when you were struggling because it made them feel needed, but they would not be able to handle your success. That's why God removes them quietly before your breakthrough comes. You may try to hold on, you may try to make sense of it, but every time you do, you will feel resistance because the Spirit is calling you to rise. When heaven prepares to promote, it always begins by separating. Every great calling in Scripture was marked by a season of being pulled away from the familiar. Abraham was called out of his homeland before God made him a great nation. Joseph was taken from his family before he became ruler in Egypt. David was pulled out of the fields before he was crowned king. The same pattern is at work in your life right now. This divine separation is not a punishment, but a preparation. It is God clearing your path so that nothing and no one hinders the new chapter He is writing for you. You are being refined, realigned, and repositioned. It might hurt because the flesh craves connection, but your spirit is being trained to depend solely on God. This is the moment where you learn that elevation is not always about being seen, but about being made ready. When you are alone, you hear God more clearly. When the noise stops, you recognize his whisper. When the crowd leaves, you discover your true strength. So do not fight the distance, do not fear the silence, and do not mourn what is leaving your life. You are not losing, you are being chosen. The path may feel narrow, but it leads to expansion. The isolation may feel cold, but it is birthing inner fire. Trust that the separation is the sign of your preparation. God is setting you apart so that when he lifts you, you will have the wisdom, discipline, and clarity to remain in the place he is taking you. Your circle may get smaller, but your calling is getting larger. Every goodbye, every shift, every quiet moment is working together for the purpose of your next level. So stand firm, stay faithful, and let God finish what he started. The separation is not the end, it's the beginning of your elevation. Before God elevates you, he will often test your patience through silence. This silence is not empty, it is divine. It is in that stillness where your faith is measured, your trust is proven, and your obedience is refined. When you pray and the heavens seem quiet, when you ask and there is no immediate reply, do not assume that God has forgotten you. Silence is his classroom. In it, he teaches you how to depend on his timing rather than your own understanding. Many people grow restless when they do not hear from God. They start to doubt his promises, question their purpose, and lose focus. But those who understand the rhythm of divine preparation know that silence is not absence. It is strategy. God is not ignoring you. He is arranging things behind the curtain that you cannot yet see. You may think nothing is moving, but in truth, everything is aligning. The silence tests your endurance, shaping you into someone who can handle the weight of the blessing that's coming. When God goes quiet, he is watching how you respond. Do you still pray even when there's no answer? Do you still serve when no one acknowledges your effort? Do you still believe when nothing around you supports your hope? This is where many give up, not realizing that the silence is part of the test. God already knows the outcome, but you must learn what your faith is really made of. You cannot grow if everything happens instantly. You cannot develop character if every prayer is answered quickly. The waiting season refines your motives and strengthens your spiritual muscles. It breaks the habit of chasing signs and teaches you to trust the source. During the silence, God also clears away internal noise. He quiets the fears, insecurities, and distractions that once filled your mind, so that when he finally speaks, you will recognize his voice. You begin to see that the silence is sacred ground where transformation takes place. It is the unseen work that shapes you into who you must become before elevation can arrive. There will be moments when you feel forgotten, when the silence feels unbearable, when every door you knock on stays shut. Yet this is the exact moment you must not retreat. The silence means heaven is busy. It means your name is being mentioned in places you've never been. It means something is forming in the spirit that has not yet manifested in the natural. God uses the quiet to prepare the right opportunities, the right connections, and the right timing. If he answered too soon, you would not be ready. If he moved too quickly, you might mishandle the blessing. That's why his silence is mercy in disguise. It is protection from premature promotion. It is grace hidden behind stillness. Every person chosen by God walked through seasons of silence before divine manifestation. Moses faced years of wilderness before returning as a deliverer. Hannah endured silence before Samuel was born. Even Jesus spent 30 quiet years before his public ministry began. What God does in silence sustains what he reveals in public. The longer he takes, the deeper the foundation he is laying within you. So, if heaven seems quiet right now, don't panic. Keep walking, keep praying, keep believing. The silence is shaping you into someone unstoppable. It's burning away impatience and birthing trust. It's teaching you that faith doesn't depend on noise but on assurance. Remember, seeds grow underground before they ever touch the sunlight. Likewise, your purpose is developing in hiddenness before it's displayed. When the right moment arrives, the silence will break and everything will unfold suddenly. You will realize that God was never inactive. He was working quietly, ensuring that every piece was perfectly placed. So rest in His silence, trust the unseen process, and hold your peace. Because when the quiet season ends, what He brings forth will make every silent day worth it. Divine elevation often comes wrapped in opposition because God uses pressure to prepare you for purpose. Many people pray for growth and breakthrough, but few realize that both come with resistance. When God is about to lift you, He allows challenges to arise not to destroy you, but to strengthen your spirit and stretch your capacity. The opposition you face is not punishment. It is confirmation that you are close to something greater. Every great blessing carries a burden that only refined faith can hold. God knows that without struggle, you would not develop the endurance needed to maintain what He is preparing to give. You cannot reach higher levels with the same strength that carried you through the last season. Opposition introduces you to your hidden strength. It reveals what you are truly made of and teaches you to depend on God in ways you never have before. The conflict becomes your classroom, and every obstacle becomes a tool shaping your destiny. When the enemy rises against you, it is not a random attack. It is a reaction to what heaven is about to release. Hell does not waste energy fighting what poses no threat. The moment your life begins to align with divine purpose, resistance appears to distract you, discourage you, or push you back into comfort. But remember, pressure is proof of potential. The more intense the challenge, the greater the calling on your life. When storms rise, it means something powerful is about to break through. The same fire that consumes straw purifies gold. Likewise, the opposition you face is refining your character, burning away fear, pride, and doubt. God allows it so that when He elevates you, you won't crumble under the weight of responsibility. He is not trying to break you. He is trying to build a version of you that can stand strong when blessings come. Every attack, every setback, every disappointment carries a hidden lesson that prepares you for endurance, wisdom, and maturity. You may feel surrounded by conflict, betrayed by those you trusted, or exhausted by battles that never seem to end. Yet these moments are divine invitations to grow deeper in faith. You cannot pray for elevation and expect comfort. Growth and struggle are intertwined. David faced Goliath before he wore the crown. Joseph endured prison before he sat in the palace. Even Jesus faced the cross before resurrection. Every elevation requires confrontation with something greater than yourself. It's not the obstacle that defines you, but how you respond to it. When life presses hard against you, do not retreat. Instead, see it as evidence that God is birthing something powerful within you. The opposition is shaping your identity and aligning your focus with heaven's direction. Through it, you learn resilience, humility, and dependence on divine strength. You begin to understand that the enemy's attack is often the loudest just before breakthrough arrives. So when resistance comes, do not run from it. Stand firm and recognize it as a sign that you are in transition. What feels like pressure is preparation. What seems like warfare is transformation. Every closed door, every misunderstanding, every painful delay is working for your advantage. God is teaching you to trust His process even when it's uncomfortable. He is training you to fight from a place of victory rather than fear. The more you endure, the more He can trust you with greater responsibility. Elevation is not about escaping struggle, but mastering it through faith. So lift your head and remind yourself that this opposition is not the end. It is proof that heaven is investing in you. Your faith is being refined, your vision is being sharpened, and your heart is being purified. When the battle ends, you will not be the same. You will stand stronger, wiser, and ready to carry the glory that comes with your next level. The pressure you feel today is the evidence that God is preparing you for tomorrow's victory. As you draw closer to your next level, unexpected favor begins to reveal itself in ways that can only be explained by divine orchestration. Things start to align without your effort, doors open that you never knocked on, and opportunities appear from directions you did not anticipate. This is the moment when heaven starts to confirm that your elevation is near. God begins to send subtle signs that His hand is upon your life. People who once overlooked you begin to notice you, and situations that once resisted you start working in your favor. You may not fully understand how or why it's happening, but it's not coincidence, it's divine timing. God rewards those who endured the silent seasons, who passed the tests, and who trusted Him in the pressure. Now, He begins to release glimpses of what He had been preparing all along. The favor that begins to flow is not earned through effort, but through alignment. When your heart, actions, and faith synchronize with His will, the heavens respond with abundance that human strength cannot produce. This kind of favor is not ordinary, it is supernatural. It does not follow logic or depend on your qualifications. It moves according to obedience. God will cause the right people to cross your path and the right doors to open exactly when you are ready. Sometimes He will even use those who once rejected you to position you for recognition. You will find yourself in rooms you never applied to enter, speaking to hearts that were once close to you and receiving help you never asked for. That is what divine favor looks like. It's when grace goes ahead of you and prepares the way before you arrive. The world may call it luck, but you know it's the evidence of divine intervention. It is God saying, I have seen your patience, I have watched your struggle, and now it's time for manifestation. This kind of favor cannot be blocked or delayed by human resistance because it flows from a source higher than man's authority. What God releases in your life cannot be stopped by envy, fear, or manipulation. However, you must recognize favor not as a reward, but as a responsibility. God's blessing carries weight. When He elevates you, He expects you to carry His name with humility and integrity. Favor is not meant for pride, but for purpose. When you receive it, remember that you are being positioned to reflect His goodness, not your greatness. Use every open door as a platform to glorify the One who made it possible. Many people pray for divine favor, but few handle it well because they forget who brought them there. True elevation does not just lift you in status, it deepens your character. It teaches you that success without surrender is empty. God's favor should draw you closer to Him, not away. The more He blesses you, the more dependent you should become on His guidance. That is how you sustain what He gives. As you enter this season of divine favor, stay grounded. Keep your heart pure and your motives clean. The same God who opened the door can close it if arrogance replaces gratitude. Continue to walk in humility, for humility attracts even greater grace. When God elevates you, He expects you to uplift others, to become a vessel of encouragement, generosity, and faith. This is the evidence of a heart transformed by divine favor. So when opportunities start multiplying, when unexpected blessings begin to appear, when people begin to recognize what God placed inside you, know that heaven has gone before you. You are no longer striving, you are walking in divine flow. Everything that once resisted you is now cooperating with your destiny. The favor surrounding you is the sign that your elevation has begun. You've entered the moment God has been preparing you for all along. The silence, the struggle, the separation, all of it was leading here. And now, The favor you are seeing is God's quiet way of saying, it's your time. Here is your final call, the moment to take this message deep into your heart. If you are hearing these words right now, it is not by mistake. Heaven has been whispering your name, preparing your path, and aligning every moment of your journey to bring you here. You've walked through seasons of silence, endured separation, survived pressure, and now divine favor is beginning to move around you. Don't question it. Don't doubt it. The shift is real. When God decides to elevate you, no force can stop what He has ordained. The same God who allowed the storm will use that storm to push you into your destiny. Every tear, every trial, every waiting moment was not wasted. It was preparation for this season of divine release. So now is not the time to give up. Now is the time to rise with renewed faith and walk boldly into what has been promised. You are stepping into the season where what was once delayed will be delivered, where what was once hidden will be revealed, and where what was once broken will be restored beyond recognition. So lift your head, breathe deeply, and let your heart be still, because what's coming next is greater than anything you have prayed for. Heaven has already approved your elevation, and nothing can cancel what God has signed in your favor. This is your moment to trust, to believe, and to move with confidence. And if this message spoke to your spirit today, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now and stay connected, because every word shared here carries a divine message designed to strengthen your walk with God and prepare you for your next level. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Your elevation is unfolding, and your name is being mentioned in rooms your feet haven't yet entered. Stay ready, stay faithful, and keep watching, because when God begins to move, He moves suddenly.